Why does danger feel so tempting? Why does the forbidden attract the human heart more than the safe? Many women quietly confess that they are drawn to men who carry danger in their eyes. Not because such men bring peace, but because they bring a storm. A storm that is frightening, yet intoxicating. It is not about violence in daily life, but about an energy that whispers rebellion, power, and risk. Behind closed doors, this attraction often becomes stronger. Some women crave men who appear unpredictable, men who walk on the edge of rules, men whose very presence feels like breaking chains. This is not just about desire. It is about psychology, history, and the unconscious mind. It is about the way fear and attraction are sometimes woven together, the way power and surrender become a game of shadows. Philosophers like Nietzsche and Jung believed that inside every person, there is a hunger for chaos as much as for order. The dangerous man becomes the doorway to that chaos. But why? And what does this reveal about human nature, about longing, and about the hidden wounds of the soul? Stay until the end, because the answer may disturb you more than you expect. Have you ever wondered why the heart leans toward danger? The human mind is trapped in a strange conflict. On one side, it seeks safety, comfort, and peace. Yet, on the other, it longs for the pull of paths that lead into the shadows. This is the hidden attraction that sometimes draws a woman toward men who do not feel safe. Men who do not walk on straight lines, but instead dance on the edge of risk. The chemistry of the brain plays a powerful role in this secret. When a person feels danger, the brain releases dopamine, the same chemical tied to reward and pleasure. Fear and excitement begin to merge into one, and suddenly what should be terrifying becomes intoxicating. This is why the presence of a dangerous man does not feel like a warning sign, but like a spark. For some women, it feels as though life becomes sharper, more alive, more real in that moment. The ordinary fades, and the forbidden becomes fire. Nietzsche once suggested that human beings were not born only for comfort. Inside every soul lives a hunger for chaos, for intensity, for something that breaks the dullness of order. This is why some women crave men who defy rules. In them lies a raw energy, a reminder that life is not meant to be a quiet cage but a burning experience. Such men awaken a part of a woman that has been asleep for years, the part that does not want safety, but intensity, even if it costs pain. There is another psychological layer. When something is forbidden, the mind begins to value it more. Just as a child wants most the toy he is told not to touch, the adult heart works in the same way. The man who seems off limits, who carries danger in his steps, feels rare, valuable, and irresistible. He becomes a mystery that must be solved, a secret that demands to be touched. But this attraction does not always lead to healing. Sometimes it becomes a dangerous loop where reason is silenced. The woman may know that the dangerous man can hurt her, yet the pull grows stronger. It is one of the most frightening games of the mind, the body whispering, "Stay away," while the heart demands, "Go closer." So we must ask, is this attraction only the work of chemicals in the brain, or is it something deeper? Could it be that hidden behind this longing are old wounds, scars from childhood, unfinished needs, forgotten pains, that push the heart to search for danger disguised as love? Attraction to danger is rarely just about chemistry. Beneath the surface, hidden inside the unconscious, live old wounds that quietly shape what a person desires. Childhood is the foundation of every adult longing. A girl who grows up in an environment filled with unpredictability, fear, or neglect often carries those emotions like invisible scars. Later, when she meets a man who feels dangerous, something deep inside her stirs, not because he is safe, but because he feels familiar. Psychologists like Freud believed that our earliest relationships build a blueprint in the unconscious. If a child experiences love mixed with fear, or comfort mixed with chaos, then love itself becomes tied to danger. The mind begins to confuse pain with passion. It is not a conscious choice, it is an old survival pattern repeating itself. A woman may say she wants kindness and stability, yet she keeps falling for men who mirror the turbulence of her past. Consider the child who learns that affection comes only after conflict. Perhaps her father was distant, only softening after anger. Perhaps love in the household was given and taken away like a reward. This child grows up believing that intimacy and instability are connected. As an adult, she may seek out men who are unpredictable, men who bring both fear and thrill. Deep down, she is not chasing the man himself, she is chasing the unfinished story of her childhood, hoping to finally rewrite it. Carl Jung called this process the repetition of archetypes. He believed that humans unconsciously repeat patterns until they become aware of them. A woman drawn to dangerous men may, without knowing it, be trying to master the chaos she once felt powerless against. Each new relationship becomes a stage where the unconscious says, "This time, you will win. This time, the danger will heal you." But often, it does not. The cycle repeats, and the wound deepens. There is also the question of identity. A young girl who grows up silenced or overlooked may crave intensity as an adult. The dangerous man, with his fire and recklessness, becomes a symbol of what she was not allowed to be. By attaching herself to him, she feels that she, too, has escaped the prison of rules. His danger becomes her rebellion. His chaos becomes her freedom. Yet this freedom is often a trap. The very energy that feels liberating at first can soon become destructive. What begins as passion may turn into control. What feels like strength may hide cruelty. Their heart confuses the echo of childhood pain with the promise of love, and by the time the truth is clear, it can be too late. This raises a haunting question: are these women truly in love with the man in front of them, or are they in love with the ghost of their past, repeating itself in his shadow? When a woman is drawn to a dangerous man, it is not only the past speaking through her. It is also the pull of power, fear, and surrender. There is something primal about the way humans respond to dominance and risk. At the core of the attraction lies a paradox: the same man who inspires fear can also awaken desire. This is the dark dance of control. Psychologists often describe this as the merging of survival instincts with intimacy. When a woman feels fear, her body reacts as though she is in danger. Her heart races, her breath quickens, and adrenaline floods her system. Yet these same bodily reactions are also present during intense desire. The line between terror and passion becomes thin. What should be a warning sign instead becomes a spark that fuels attraction. The dangerous man embodies dominance. He does not follow rules, and that creates an aura of power. For some women, being close to such power feels like surrendering to something greater than themselves. In a world where many feel trapped by routine, rules, and expectations, surrendering to a man who carries danger can feel like stepping outside of time. It feels alive. But this aliveness is not always healthy. It is rooted in the psychology of submission and control. The woman may unconsciously give away her power, mistaking domination for protection. Fear itself can masquerade as safety when the mind is confused by strong emotions. It is the same principle that keeps people returning to toxic relationships. The fear of leaving feels worse than the fear of staying. Nietzsche wrote about the human will to power, the deep desire not just to survive, but to expand, to test limits, to push against boundaries. For the dangerous man, power is expressed through risk. For the woman drawn to him, desire becomes a form of surrender to that power. She may believe she is choosing freely, but in truth, she may be acting out a script written by her unconscious. There is also the thrill of the forbidden. Society often tells women to seek gentle, stable partners. But when she chooses a man who defies these rules, she feels as though she is breaking chains. That rebellion itself creates a rush. By giving herself to danger, she feels she is seizing her own power, even while losing it to him. The problem is that power balanced on fear can never create true intimacy. Real intimacy requires trust and equality. But in this dark dance, one person rises as the dominant force, while the other lowers herself in surrender. It may feel intoxicating in the moment, but over time it leaves emptiness. The heart begins to question, is this love, or is this submission dressed as passion? And so the question grows sharper: when a woman gives herself to the dangerous man, is she chasing pleasure, or is she chasing the illusion of power through surrender? There is a cruel illusion that often hides behind the attraction to dangerous men. It is the belief that this danger can somehow heal old wounds. Many women step into these relationships not only because they feel excitement, but because they secretly hope that the very chaos will bring them peace. They confuse intensity with intimacy, mistaking pain for proof of love. This illusion has deep psychological roots. When someone grows up with emptiness or neglect, the unconscious mind begins to link love with struggle. Love becomes something you must fight for, something you must suffer to earn. The dangerous man, with his unpredictability and fire, seems to offer exactly that struggle. Every sharp word, every moment of fear, every storm becomes a test. If she survives the test, she tells herself it must be love. The suffering feels like a bridge to worth. But suffering is not healing. It is repetition. The dangerous man does not erase the wounds of the past, he mirrors them. And yet the woman may cling to him even more tightly, because the more she hurts, the more convinced she becomes that the bond is real. This is the illusion of healing, mistaking wounds reopening for wounds closing. Freud often spoke about repetition compulsion, the tendency of humans to unconsciously repeat painful experiences in an effort to master them. A woman may unconsciously believe that if she can endure the chaos of a dangerous man, she will finally overcome the chaos of her childhood. But the cycle does not end. Each repetition only deepens the scars. There is also the romanticized belief in fixing the dangerous man. Many women imagine that their love can transform him, that their patience can soften his edges, that their loyalty can cure his darkness. This is not only a heavy burden, but a dangerous illusion. In truth, she is not trying to heal him, she is trying to heal the broken part of herself through him. She is hoping that if he changes for her, it will prove that she is worthy of love. But rarely does he change. And rarely does the wound close. Philosophically, this reveals something profound about human nature. Jung believed that what we do not face within ourselves appears outside of us, as fate. The dangerous man becomes the mirror of the chaos she has not yet faced inside. She looks into his eyes and sees both fear and hope. But what she does not realize is that she is staring into her own shadow. And so the illusion continues, passion feels like love, pain feels like proof, danger feels like destiny. But the question lingers in the silence after the fire: how long can someone live in the illusion before they see the truth? There comes a moment when the illusion begins to crack. The fire that once felt intoxicating starts to burn too deeply. What once felt like passion begins to look like destruction. This is the turning point, the awakening. It does not always arrive suddenly. Sometimes it grows quietly, like a whisper in the mind that refuses to fade. This is not love. This is a cage made of desire and fear. When a woman awakens from the spell of the dangerous man, she begins to see the difference between intensity and intimacy. Intensity is sharp, addictive, and consuming. Intimacy, however, is gentle, steady, and safe. One leaves you drained, while the other fills you. The dangerous man offers the fire of intensity but rarely the warmth of intimacy. Awakening means recognizing that the fire cannot keep you alive forever, it only consumes what is left of you. Breaking free from destructive desire is not easy. The unconscious is powerful, and it resists change. But awareness is the first step. Jung wrote that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives and we will call it fate. To break the cycle, a woman must face the shadows within herself. She must ask, what wound am I trying to heal by choosing danger? What part of me feels alive only when I am in pain? These questions are heavy, but they open the door to freedom. Healing begins when love is no longer confused with struggle. When she realizes that she does not need to suffer in order to deserve affection, the pattern begins to dissolve. This is not about rejecting passion, but about learning that true passion does not need fear to exist. True love is not chaos, it is depth. It is not a storm that throws you into the sea, it is an ocean that holds you with infinite strength. This awakening also requires courage, because walking away from danger can feel like losing part of yourself. The dangerous man often symbolizes rebellion, freedom, and intensity. Letting him go can feel like letting go of fire itself. But with time, she realizes that the fire she craved was always inside her. It was never his to give. She was never weak for wanting danger, she was human, seeking wholeness in the wrong place. Nietzsche once wrote that one must carry chaos inside in order to give birth to a dancing star. The dangerous man may awaken the chaos, but the star, the true light, must be born from within. Awakening means claiming that inner fire and no longer giving it away to someone who only feeds on it. And so the story ends not with fear, not with surrender, but with clarity. The dangerous man may always carry his shadow, but the woman who awakens no longer mistakes his shadow for her own light. She walks away, not broken, but reborn.